Welcome, race fans. Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network presents Tuesday Night Thunder. That's the trucks. Tonight we are at Richmond. As always, I am Jerry Isaacs, joined by Cody Richardson. How you doing, Cody?
I'm doing pretty good tonight, Jerry. How about yourself?
I'm excited. A night race. I love night races. I think all races should be at night.
I agree, except for the ones that don't have lights on the tracks. Those would be a little hectic in cars that don't have headlights, don't you think?
Well, I think we just put a flashlight and some duct tape and you're set.
Ooh, or maybe we could put multi-class cars on track with cars that do have headlights. I think we've done
Oh,
that
I
before.
think we have, and it is a blast. Very enjoyable.
Absolutely.
So
We've
tell
never
me about
tried it
Richmond.
here at Yeah, we've never done it at Richmond Raceway though. This is a 3/4 mile D-shaped oval in Richmond, Virginia. If you didn't get that by the Richmond Raceway, if you couldn't figure that out, I don't know if I can do much to help you guys. Anyway, we are 125 laps tonight. Like I said, Richmond Raceway. They can go about 57, 63 laps on fuel. They've got four sets of tires, three plus the one they are starting on, qualifying on tonight. All in all, I think it should be a pretty fun race. If they can stay green, this will probably tick off pretty quickly. Laps are in the, mid 20-second range. So 125 laps should be out of here pretty quickly.
Should be a lot of fun. I'm anxious to see if somebody tries to save fuel and one stop it. I believe I tried that, not in the trucks, in the Rising Star series. Tried that a couple seasons ago. Mike Stiverson passed me with about 3 laps to go because I had to heavy save. But it is possible to save fuel and cut out a pit stop here.
Oh, absolutely. And they're right on the edge of being able to make it doing that if we go green, which I have faith in these truckers out here tonight that they can. There's a lot of fall off here at Richmond Raceway. This is one of my favorite tracks ever to be on. I love watching as we see Crank Bell getting loose there off of turn two in his qualifying lap. You're going to see that a lot tonight. But like you said, if you save a little bit of fuel, you can save a little bit of tire also, and it's usually the quicker way around. I think it didn't work out for you, but it did work out for me saving some fuel in a league race earlier this year. It's just how hard do you want to push? How good are you at saving tires and fuel as to what strategy will work out for you best?
Yeah, and the other good part about that strategy, I think, is if you do get a caution, you can easily find yourself out in front. Whereas if you pit, go down a lap, you may be faster, but if that caution comes at the wrong time, you're going to be in trouble. Hopefully, everybody pits in front of you. You can get a wave around, but then you're going to be on older tires.
Yeah, so you're looking at what around 48 laps if you two stop it versus 63 laps if you one stop it. So there's 15 laps there where you can be caught a lap down if you don't catch the leader. You may be caught 2 laps down depending on how far back in the pack that you were. And that's an uncomfortable situation to be in as a driver, to know that you're laps down. You're probably not the lucky dog. There's going to be more cars down in front of you. And you're just fingers crossed praying that no cautions come out.
Trying to figure out if he's warming up his tires or just really loose there. You'll see on the board there, you see Kyle, qualifying taking place. Kyle Nadeau up there at the top spot right now. We've got 32 drivers on track in this small little circle oval, probably more of an oval.
Yeah, D-shaped oval. That front straightaway is all curved. You're never getting the wheel fully straight. You're turning the entire time off of turn four. Makes that transition really tricky because it never actually transitions to a flat. You just kind of stay banked, but you're trying to drive straight. As Garrett Johnson slideways off of turn two there as well. I think, Jerry, you're going to see that a lot tonight whenever the trucks are pushing hard.
I agree. They're pushing hard in qualifying, obviously. They may or may not tone it down a little bit during the race. You probably tone it down a little bit when you've got a car sitting next to you, truck sitting next to you. But I think we're going to see. I have faith. I think we're going to see a lot of green runs. Green runs. But I think we're going to see an early caution or two sometime where in the first 25 laps, maybe one or two, and then I think it settles down and we go green.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Usually it takes a little bit to get used to the trucks being around you and everything. Some small mistakes before people start giving some room. I'd agree with that 100%. Couple quick cautions early. Maybe have some people top off, take a new set of tires to make that one-stop strategy from there and go to town.
Yeah, it'll be interesting also, as always, to see who was practicing their pit entry pit entry here is it's not terrible, but you do need to slow down to be able to get into that pit entry and not get caught speeding.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of the tougher pit roads to get on because you're breaking from the racing line. You got to make sure you call it out early that the people behind you know that you are going to be pitting. Otherwise, you risk getting rear-ended.
Yeah, not all that much fun, but it's not like a super speedway, so they're not coming in typically in big groups. They can get down to the bottom and usually make it okay. Really, the speeding's more about just making sure you get yourself slowed down. You don't have to worry too much about everybody else.
Exactly. But looks like qualifying is done here, Jerry, and looks like Kyle Nadeau is going to take home that pole position there. Chris Harefield going to be right beside him there on the outside front row. Then Ray Richer, Andrew Caldwell, John Ross, Eric Anderson, Cody Meadows, Mark Morton, Judd Danielson, and Mike Stiverson, your championship points leader, rolling off in 10th.
11th place, Dusty Martin, Jason Higginbotham, William Kern, Alan Ayers, Leroy Coblentz, Craig Schroeder, Brian Dorsey, Mike Donahue in 18th, Chris Dorsey, and Dave Gainforth in 20th.
And Nathan Dufton in 21st, Andy Cork 22nd, Daniel Coblentz 23, George Cushman 24, Crank Bell 25th, Garrett Johnson 26th, Chris Letts 27th, Gary Bowman 28th, Paul Turner 29th, Dennis Ellis in 30th, Jonathan Ellis in 31st, and Steven Music in 32nd.
All right, a couple Ellis boys there. Looks like we got some more family racing here at Cyber Thunder. Always good to see that.
Yeah, it does. But I caught up with our second place in the points and our championship points, or our pole sitter tonight. Second place in the championship right now, Kyle Nadeau. Kyle, you got a copy?
That I do.
Hey, you are sitting 17 points behind Mike Stiverson, your teammate, for the championship points lead right now. You're 10 positions ahead of him. How you feel about your chances tonight?
Pretty good. Right now it's just getting into the playoffs and trying to get a win under my belt for this season. You know, I've last 2 seasons I've run this late into the season without a win, so it's kind of on point for me, I guess, right now. Mike's had a hell of a season. You know, he's definitely deserving of the what do you call it, regular season championship. So, you know, if I get it or if he gets it, you know, that's a WTF racing regular season championship and sets us good for the playoffs.
Well, that's good to hear. Kyle, I'm going to let you go out there before the pace truck pulls off. I know you got another lap here. Let you get settled back down with your team. Good luck tonight. I know you're good here. Hopefully we'll be talking to you again at the end of the night.
Let's hope so. Thanks, bud.
Man,
And that was Kyle Nadeau, your second place in the championship and your pole sitter for tonight.
Cody, I don't know that I've ever heard somebody sound so happy about somebody else winning a race.
I know that is teamwork for sure. And I mean, you can't beat that. They've been working together for a while. They make a really good team for sure.
Absolutely. I think that's one of those things where he's saying all the right words, but deep down inside, he wants this win pretty bad.
Oh, don't we all though? We all
Yeah.
say the right things whenever we're forced
no.
to. But
Sometimes we say the wrong things, Cody. Sometimes
Oh,
we say the wrong things.
you know what? Okay. But we have the green flag in the air, Jerry, so we're not going to talk about that or anything. Kyle does not get a very good jump. Chris Harefield beats him on the outside line there and takes the position into turn 1, takes that line away. Front 2 are single file, but they are side by side throughout the pack behind them.
Yeah, we're going to see these guys running really hard these first few laps, I think, with Chris Harefield up front. And we're seeing a little side-by-side back here with Eric Anderson looking to go 3 wide.
Yeah, it looks like everything's settled back down there. Eric's kind of stuck on the outside there, can't get down to the bottom. The bottom's really where you want to be here. There's a couple grooves you can use once the tires start to wear out, but early, that shortest distance around the track is going to be your best bet. Chris Harefield still with a half-truck lead over Kyle Nadeau as they cross the line, finishing lap number 2.
Yeah, Eric's stuck on the outside of Cody Meadows there. I think he'd really like to get down to the bottom, but the 48 of Mark Morton's going to make it hard for him. Nope, he's got a little bit of room there. They'll go single file.
Yeah, it looks like Mark Morton maybe didn't have a great exit off a 2 or left him room there. Just being nice of the 43. We're only 3 laps in. There's plenty of racing to go. No one really wants to cause a yellow this early. Truck 31 truck was a little loose off of turn 4, but able to collect it up before he crosses the start-finish line.
Jason Higginbotham up 3 spots. He is down here running with his left tires almost on the apron, which a lot of tracks is dangerous. I haven't seen him wiggle, but he's getting that truck really close to that yellow line.
Yeah, it's something that if you can hit it just right, there's a ton of grip on that paint, but if you overshoot it by a little bit and hit that flat, car gets really loose and wants to come out from underneath you, but he's managing to make it work so far.
Looks like we're pretty much single file now through the field.
Yeah, first side-by-side action looks to be Andy Cork and Dave Gameforth back here in the back. They are racing for 21st and 22nd position. There's a couple trucks side-by-side back there trying to make their way through. Single file out everywhere else, it appears.
We are 6 laps in, and Cody, I think we did the broadcaster's curse. We both said we thought we might see an early yellow. I know it's early, but it looks like everybody's single file, being patient, and they're settling in for the long run.
Yeah, and I'm surprised at how much field spread there is right now as well. There's some pretty decent gaps between all the trucks. Looks like, really, a tenth of a second in this battle that's side by side that we're watching. Everybody else is 2 or 3 tenths spread apart from each other all the way throughout the field.
We do have one car in the pits, Jonathan Ellis. I don't see any damage on that John Deere truck. I don't know if he's had some other issues that has caused him to bring it to the pits, but nope, he's taken off again. So I have to assume he was in the pits for about 30 seconds. I have to assume he had some type of damage. Maybe he hit the wall.
Yeah, it could be maybe a little bit of damage there. Maybe an equipment failure that got him some damage as well. Who knows right now, but he's able to get looks like he's trying to get the truck back out on the racetrack here.
Right there in front of the leaders. With Kyle on Chris Harefield's rear bumper right now.
Took us? Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah, I remembered we are live. I better not on public, what do you want to call it? Public channel?
Yeah, we probably ought to keep that. We all, believe me, no one knows more than I do about hitting the button at the wrong time. So.
Kyle throwing it down low below Chris, trying to make a pass on the inside. Chris gave him that inside. Chris has momentum and will stay ahead.
Yeah, it's a pretty good battle here. 3 trucks have broken away a little bit from the rest of the field. Chris Harefield, your leader. Kyle Nadeau, your pole sitter in second. And Andrew Caldwell, a few truck lengths behind him. But Kyle's able to keep this pressure up on Chris as they enter turn 1. Going to try to diamond that corner off a little bit, roll the center, get a good run. He's able to get some momentum, but stays a quarter of a truck back as they enter turn 3.
Yeah, these top 3 cars have almost a second gap back to Cody Meadows in 4th. Kyle is not letting up on Chris.
No, not at all. And these 2 trucks are trading fastest lap times, and they're, 2 or 3 tenths faster than the rest of the field, it looks like.
Yeah, I think, Kyle tried to make that pass on the inside earlier. You saw there, it looked to me like he checked up just a little bit and is content to ride behind and not burn his tires up, trying to make a pass.
Yeah, you say that, but he was able to get a really good run, peeks his nose on the inside into turn 1 now as they dive off into the corner. Chris is able to roll the center just a little bit better. I'm not sure if the truck exiting pit road threw Kyle off his momentum, but Chris is going to enjoy a 5-truck lead as they enter turn 3.
Really quick here, your top 10. Chris Harefield, Kyle Nadeau, Andrew Caldwell, Cody Meadows up 3 spots into 4th, Ray Richer, Eric Anderson, Mark Morton, Jason Higginbotham, Mike Stuyvesant in 9th, and John Ross in 10th. Higginbotham looking to make a move here. Oh, Cody Meadows. What happened there? He disconnected.
I don't have that on my screen yet, Jerry. Is it an iRacing issue for the 8 of Cody Meadows? That's going to be heartbreak for him running in 4th place, though, if it is.
Yeah, I don't know. He just dropped to the bottom of the board, and when I tried to get the camera on him, it said no Cody Meadows found.
Yep, I am not showing him on my screen either. He is not turning laps right now. I also want to make an apology to the Koblenz family. We've been saying their name wrong the entire time, Jerry, and I'm not afraid to admit it. They put it out and said they appreciate everything we do, but the actual pronunciation is Koblenz.
Got it.
So
we will try to keep that correct.
Right. Hard habits are hard to break. Old habits are hard to break. Just ask Kyle, who we still call Nadal every now and then. So
Nadeau. He's got lots
Nadal,
of
No do. Kyle knows who we're talking about, and I'm sure the Koblentzes do as well. But
Absolutely.
we will try to get it correct from now on. And if we butchered it again, guys, I'm really sorry.
Higginbotham going down to the bottom under Mark Morton, looking to take sixth place away. It looks like he's going to have that pass. See if he can get up to the wall. He does.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle up here is still putting some heavy pressure on Chris Harefield for the lead. They have pulled away and started to check out from Andrew Caldwell. They are now 0.8 of a second and pulling away from Andrew Caldwell in third place and 1.5 seconds in front of Ray Richer in fourth.
Still, Higginbotham and Morton are battling. They just keep going back and forth. It looks like Morton gets a little bit of momentum run on the outside. Higginbotham trying to stick to that inside. Just cannot make that pass stick.
Yeah, Jerry, you keep an eye on that, and I'll keep an eye on our leaders here because those are the two closest battles we have on the track so far. I say that looks like Crank Bell is going to try to make a pass on Steven Music in the back. Steven's up the track a little bit. Crank's underneath him, but Steven's going to have a good run off the corner. Crank's not able to complete. Steven able to clear him as they go into turn one, but still leaves the lane open for Crank. Not able to get there, though. Not able to complete the pass.
Got a bunch of cars here, starting with the Craig Schroeder looking to make a pass underneath Dusty Martin. But this is a herd of cats right here. Looks like there's probably 8, 9 cars. Oh, Dusty in the wall. Slows him up a bit.
Yeah, it's that point in the race where you're going to start seeing we're 20 laps done now. You're going to start seeing who was saving a little bit of tire, who was a little too hard on them, and that's where you're starting to see these stack ups in the field.
Yeah, they came out fast, but they settled down single file. We are 22 laps in, and it's been green flag racing. I think at this point, we're going to stay green. We might get somebody get a little loose later and have an accident, but if they can, it's hard to keep it off the track in this case when somebody gets sideways and not.
Yeah, this bottlenecks up pretty quickly. There's not much apron here. I'm wondering though. At this point, you have to just assume that the race is going to go green. There haven't been any early cautions when everybody was bunched up. You have to assume that it's just going to go green and stay green. Kyle with a good run. Not able to maintain the momentum off a corner exit. But Jerry, do you make the decision now, or have you already made the decision on whether you're one stopping or two stopping this?
I think, for me at least, I make the decision before the race starts, and then I adjust as the race goes on. So not to say the strategies don't change, but I want a plan in place when the race starts, and that's going to assume that we go green.
Well, I mean, you know what they say. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face.
There you go.
I think Kyle's plan was going to be to lead every lap as well, but he's been stuck behind Chris here, unable to get around or not willing to burn his tires up to get around. Hopefully that was part of his plan as well. I mean, I'm still putting money on the one-stop plan, though, Jerry. We've heard that 63 laps is doable, but you have to save quite a bit to do it. I'm wondering if those like Mike Stiverson back in the pack that started in traffic and everything had an opportunity to save, have been doing that, and whether our leaders up here are going to be able to make that strategy work or not.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a couple different strategies. I think we're going to see some guys split it in thirds. I think we're going to see some guys run that first. Caution.
Caution on the racetrack.
Did you happen to get a look at your temps when you're on track?
Not
I am
sure
showing
what that was.
Alan Ayers crashed in the system. Let's see what happened here. Looks like he is on exit. Looks clean here. 54 car goes underneath the 54. Oh, I've gone the wrong angle, but yep, there's some contact. He just drifts up.
Just assumed that the 54 was going to be a little bit higher up than he was, I think. 54 still about a half a truck length to a truck length off the wall. I think 94 thought he was going to be able to use that space, but there was a truck there. I mean, 94 is kind of at fault for running into him, but more of a racing incident than anything else. If you're going to assign blame, it's probably on Allen, unfortunately, but I think that's a racing deal. What about you, Jerry?
I agree. We see that a lot in and we see it a lot in terms of the way that that Cyber Thunder is set up with the driver council to kind of laying blame, if you will, and it's kind of whoever hits whoever is at blame. But when you're inside the car, you assume that outside car is going to the wall, and to me,
especially on corner exit where you just expect them to take all the racetrack.
Exactly.
And not that anybody did anything wrong there. I mean,
No, he has
There's
every right
there's
to.
a half a truck of room. It's hard to judge sometimes where you're at. Sometimes you think you're a half a truck off or you're on the wall and you're really farther away from it. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's why I call that a racing incident, because the outside truck absolutely had a right to their space on the track, and Alan came in and impeded that. However, Alan assumed that that truck would go to the wall, which is normally what you would do, unless you're trying to pinch somebody down or cut off their exit, which they have the right to do. But you have to expect, if you're the one that's going to hold that car down, you have to expect you may get hit.
Yeah, and I don't think the 54 was trying to do that. I think they were just trying to race. Alan was
Yeah.
trying to generate a run, and stuff happens. You know what I mean? You don't. It's racing. Stuff happens.
So everybody pit, and it looks like most everybody took tires. We might have one driver, Chris Letts, who's in 21st place. He looks like he might have only taken 2 tires.
Yeah, or maybe even fuel only. I mean, depends on what you think the race is going to be like. I have to assume personally that it's going to be green flag racing from here. There was just one minor incident so far in the 30 laps that we've done. We're already a third of the way through this race, almost a third of the way through this race. I think you just have to assume that it's going to go green flag racing. But if it doesn't,
What do
he's
we
got an extra
say?
set of tires.
What do we say about those little yellow flags?
Cautions breed cautions.
That's right. That's right. You get everybody bunched
true.
back up. Now everybody feels comfortable in their truck. And, you know, Kyle's been behind Chris long enough. He gets to start next to him. He may be a little more aggressive and say, I know I can't pass you easily on track in the race session, but if I start beside you, I might be able to get ahead of you now and stay there.
Exactly. We're going to be going 1 to go this time. That's the 8 of Cody Meadows getting a wave around there after his internet issues, computer issues. He's going to be about 5 laps down, it looks like, but he's trying to work his way back as much as he can and pick up some extra spots. Again, I'll go through your top 10 right now. Chris Harefield, Kyle Nadeau, Andrew Caldwell, Jason Higginbotham, Ray Richer, Eric Anderson, Mark Morton, Mike Stiverson, John Ross, and Dusty Martin are your top 10 here. Pace truck entering turn 3 right now.
Yeah, Jason Higginbotham up 8 spots into 4th place. We saw him battling earlier with Mark Morton, who's now back a couple spots behind him.
Yeah, and you wonder now that he's up a little bit sooner. Man, I don't know if Kyle missed a shift or something, or just not a good launch, though. He's going to lose 2nd spot as well to the 46 of Andrew Caldwell. Possibly even more.
Looked like he might have been in the wrong gear.
Yeah, wrong gear or missed a shift, but not a good restart for that outside lane. Entire outside lane checked up. Luckily, no wrecks or anything from it. But, you know, as he gets loose off of turn 4, trying to overdrive and make up for his restart, keep it calm down, Kyle. You got plenty of time to go and catch him, and we know you're fast.
Yeah, 57 of Ray Richer also got loose and saved it. We're seeing these trucks, as you said pre-race, they're getting a little loose, pushing hard, but they are saving it. Mike Stiverson on the outside, looking to make a move outside of Ray Richer.
Big wreck behind him.
Caution.
Big wreck on the front stretch coming off of turn 4. I saw cars sideways and then some contact after that, Jerry, but I'm not quite sure exactly what happened. Let's go back and take a look at that. Caution back out on the racetrack.
Looks like I've got it starting with John Ross. Let's see what happens there. Oh,
so
yeah.
It looks like the 29 gets loose on the outside there. Yeah, 29 is loose and comes down across the track and just hits John Ross in the right front there, and it causes a little bit of a stack up. It looked like it was going to be a lot bigger than what it ended up being, Jerry. Got a little excited there calling out that giant wreck on the front stretch. It ended up being 2 different trucks. Looks like some netcode contact behind everything as trucks were trying to get through. But yeah, that looked like 29 just getting loose coming off the corner. Is that what you saw also, Jerry?
Yep. Just a little bit loose, some car contact, unfortunately, for both of them. But Ross especially got the bad end of the deal and ended up in the back after that spin.
Yeah, I actually think Judd Danielson was going to probably be a worse for wear maybe collected up if the car hadn't been there, but if he hadn't, he'd be down and hitting that inside pit wall. That's concrete. That'll end your night in a hurry.
Yeah, his
But
truck looks okay right now. Maybe,
yeah, a little scuff on the left front, maybe left
Yeah.
rear, but other than that, looks pretty good. And that Abruzzi Chevrolet right there.
All right, so I'm assuming nobody's going to pit here. 36 laps. Some of the guys at the back may come in for fuel.
Yeah, and if you're in the back, maybe you come in for fuel. If you're, I mean, I don't see any other reason unless you think you have damage to come down pit road right now at this time, you know?
Yeah, we've got, 80 some odd laps left, so it's not like they can fill up and make it from here. No one's going to save that much, so I think we're going to see everybody stay out, re-rack them, and restart. Let's see if Kyle can get a better start this time.
I actually caught up with one of our drivers earlier from the infield care center here. Alan, you got me there?
I got you loud and clear.
Man, it looked like from our end it was just a kind of a racing deal here. You were trying to get a run on them, and it looked like maybe thought the car on your outside was a little bit closer to the wall than what he was, but made contact and looked like it's going to end your night. But are you doing okay after you got out of the infield care center here?
Yeah, I'll probably be a little sore in the morning, but otherwise I'm all right.
Well, good. Well, talk us through what you thought happened from your point of view.
Well, I ended up taking the claim on that caution. I watched the replay and I just pushed up. I got tight in the corner. Thought he would be clear by the time I washed up to the wall, and he was still there. Tried to avoid hitting the wall, locked up the rear tires, spun around, and tore up the entire front end.
Oh, well, that's a shame. Looked like you had a decently fast truck tonight, especially on the longer run. Started making moves heading towards the front, it looked like. But hopefully you'll have a little better luck with your 94 machine next week, Alan.
Alan,
Hopefully
I will apologize. I think I may have gave you the broadcaster's curse. Before the race, I asked Alan to come into the infield care center just to test and make sure things are working. And I guess he enjoyed it here and decided to come back and visit.
Yeah, you could have come after the race. We have cookies.
Yeah, I would have preferred cookies.
Yeah. Well, Alan, tough luck for you tonight. But again, hopefully we're talking to you again next week at the end of the race and not during the middle of it. Sound good?
Sounds good to me, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, same to you, Alan. Have a good night.
So we did have a couple cars come down and pit. Looks like they really just got fuel. Crank Bell, Chris Letts, Craig Schroeder, and Cody Meadows got his pit went and filled up after he got the wave round last time.
Yeah, you're not gonna get that lap back, so you might as well go get your tires now. Have a little advantage. Maybe go get a lap back the hard way.
I think he
It
got
looks like
fuel
Pace
only.
Trucks. Oh, fuel only. Well,
Yeah.
it may have given him tires whenever he came back
That
in.
could
Also,
be.
you never know.
True.
Pace Truck's making that hard left turn. We're about to go green again.
Green flag.
Green flag in the air. Looks like Kyle gets a much better launch this time, but still not as good as Chris Harefield, who's able to clear the 46 truck by 2 or 3 truck lengths as they enter turn 1. Kyle fighting back against Andrew on the inside, though, for that second spot. It's 2 by 2 all the way through the field behind him.
Kyle backing off here to get a better entry, maybe trying to make a run on exit. Let's see if he does or if he's just, looks like he pushes a little bit on exit. He's going to stay there in third place, watch these two battle out in front.
Yeah, but he better watch out and not look too far because Jason Higginbotham is in fourth right behind him. You spoke already, Jerry, up 8 spots from the restart. You wonder what he can do not having to drive through all that pack today.
Yeah, I don't, obviously he didn't qualify probably where he wants to. We've talked about him running up at the front in other races. Let's see what he can do once he's up here and see if he can stay there. Looks like Eric Anderson making a move inside of Ray Richer. Let's see if he can hold the momentum. Ray getting a little sideways on exit, but still able to hold the position. Eric cutting underneath him once again, trying to make the inside work.
Yeah, they're going to be 3 wide up there in front of the battle that I'm watching back for 20th place, Jerry. It looked like it had settled down up in the front, but they are still in a hornet's nest back here around Paul Turner and George Cushman, trading back and forth every corner and stacking up the field behind them here.
I'm kind of wondering, we got single file, and then after 20 laps, the whole field was so spread out. I'm wondering if some of these guys in this 15th, 20th area say, I don't want to be this far back if we stay green, and they're fighting a little bit harder for those positions.
Yeah, it looks like it as they almost take Dave Gainforth 3 wide there. Both of them check up just enough to stay away from him, but I mean, the trucks are stacking up behind him. They are trying to make their way forward. I have to agree with you. It seems like they just don't want to be stuck back here and losing this time. That's hard to make up on the back end of a run.
Some great racing here for the lead. Andrew Caldwell is now in the lead. Chris Harefield and Kyle Nadeau are battling for second, and they're pushing it. You see the back of that truck getting
A little
loose.
contact. Yep, little contact between the 97 and the 18. 18, a little contact with the wall. No harm, no foul. Both trucks still going, though. 18 lost some momentum with that wall contact, but Kyle is pushing hard to try to clear Chris Harefield and go catch Andrew Caldwell.
Yeah, just not able to make that clear yet. Chris, with the momentum on the outside, able to stay next to Kyle.
Oh, and Kyle gets loose on the exit of 4. He would have had him clear if he could have got the power down. They're still side by side as they enter turn 1. And this is the battle for second place here.
Yeah,
Kyle is
Higginbotham
not able to get it. Higginbotham just along for the front row seat and watching it. Kyle wants to hear clear so bad and is not able to get it. The 18 hanging on to his quarter panel, but he's probably going to be able to clear him into turn 1 here.
If he can get clear, Higginbotham, yeah, it looks like he's trying to go to the bottom and go with Kyle.
Clear, Kyle, drive away.
Chris Harefield gets loose on exit there. He's loose on entrance. Chris is pushing hard. You can see the back of that truck kicking out here from this cockpit view of Higginbotham behind him.
Yeah, he doesn't want to. He lost that lead. He lost that clean air, and now he's got another truck in front of him between him and the leader. This is not the restart that Chris wanted, but whenever you've got Andrew Caldwell and Kyle Nadeau following you, it's tough to maintain that lead for sure.
Yeah, and Higginbotham gets down underneath Chris. Let's see if he can make this past stick. Chris will have momentum on the outside. Oh, he falls back. Chris looks like he's willing just to fall in line, save some tire, and battle another day.
The battle for 11th back here is heating up as well, with Dusty Martin all the way through to Mike Donahue, Gary Bowman in 17th, all underneath a blanket trying for these positions, trying to generate some runs, but they're not able to side by side with the trucks all the way throughout the field.
Some of our big movers, Garrett Johnson in 11th place, up 15 spots. Chris Dorsey up 10 spots into 9th. Gary Bowman back in 17th. We talk about him a lot up front. He must not have had a good qualifying. He's up 11 spots into 17th place.
Yeah, and don't forget Jason Higginbotham, who we mentioned, up 9 spots now in 3rd. But we also got to talk about our big losers, and unfortunately for them, the big losers are all the ones that have been involved in incidents. John Ross down 21 spots, Cody Meadows with his internet issues down 23, and Alan Ayers, who we talked to with his incident earlier in the race, down 17 spots, currently scored in 31st.
Right now, battle on the track is for 15th place. Looks like William Kern on the inside of Nathan Dufton trying to make a pass. And
yeah, this is the same group that I was talking about, Jerry, that's been side by side fighting hard since that initial restart. Anywhere between 12th place on the track and 25th on the track has been side by side with somebody, I believe, the entire run so far.
Yeah, Kern seems to be running the inside. I'm trying to figure out if he's just kind of stuck there or if he likes it, but he's losing spots to the guys with momentum on the outside.
Yeah, and I noticed in practice he was doing the same thing. I don't know if maybe he found something trying to straight line the front straightaway. He's running a normal line on the back stretch, but it's that front stretch where he kind of just straightens off the entire straightaway. Maybe it's found something. It doesn't seem like it's working right this moment, but maybe it's easier on the tires in the long run.
There we go. Now he's got some room to see if he wants to go all the way to the wall. Let's see what his line is this time now that he doesn't have pressure on the outside.
Yeah, but you say that, and as soon as you do, it looks like he's going to make a move to try to pass the 47 car in front of him, of Nathan Dufton. Isn't able to quite get there, though. Still running about a car width off the wall. I think just showing his nose of the 47, letting him know he wants that spot.
Garrett Johnson looking to pass Dusty Martin to be up 16 spots. Oh, no!
Oh, and a T-bone and more carnage in the back of the pack there as they all try to get through. Jerry, I think you were on it.
Garrett just on exit
what
here.
happened?
Looks like he's coming out, gets loose. Oh, Dusty got loose and came down into Garrett on exit. And then once Garrett was in the wall, he's along for the ride. He locks it down. Kern running that lower line just nails him. And it's just a whole bunch of trucks running into trouble.
Yeah, and then once the truck is sideways across the track, there's just piled into after that. It's hard to get these things stopped, especially if you're following somebody right behind them. You don't know what's going on in front of you. They pull out of the way, and next thing you know,
Front of Garrett's truck is beat up pretty bad.
yeah,
He was
that
having
splitter's
a huge run.
yeah, that splitter's not happy at all. I can see the right front tire. I think this short track's just a little too fast to be showing that right front tire out. You need some aero to make it work here. You'll be fast in the corners without it, but slow on the straightaways.
So we're at lap 59, third caution. So basically 60. We're going to have 65 laps, so maybe 63, 64 when we go green. This could be the last pit stop for these guys if they can save a little fuel.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to save pretty heavy to make it, but they're right at the edge of that window. I think you've got to pit here, because if you don't and the car's starting the back and you go green, they have probably enough fuel, especially being in the back, able to save a little bit. But I think this is the right decision, absolutely, to pit. Looks like we had two trucks that did not pit, though. Andrew Caldwell and Mark Morton are going to cycle to first and second place, choosing to not come down pit road there.
We
That's
also
an interesting call, I believe.
Yeah, I agree. We also had one truck, Craig Schroeder, who pit for fuel only and is now in, I believe, 5th or 6th place. Oh, wait a minute. I think he's got trucks passing him. I think he might have had other problems in the pits.
Oh boy. Other trucks passing kind of sounds to me like that would be a maybe a speeding penalty.
Little speeding
Not
penalty.
quite sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or entering a closed pit. Maybe, no. Yeah, I was say maybe he was a lap down. I don't know where he was on track prior to that.
Could be. Looks like, unfortunately, William Kern has taken that truck to the hauler as well. Garrett Johnson's still getting some damage fixed, it looks like, in the pits, as is Daniel Koblenz.
So we've got Mark Morton in the lead with Andrew Caldwell. They did not pit. They last pit lap 27. Kyle Nadeau, Chris Harefield, Jason Higginbotham in 5th. Mike Stiverson, we haven't talked about tonight, in 6th. Ray Richer, Eric Anderson, Chris Dorsey up 10 spots into 9th, and Judd Danielson in 10th.
Yeah, Nathan Dupton in 11th, Brian Dorsey in 12th, John Ross in 13th, Chris Letts in 14th, Dusty Martin in the pits right now driving through. I believe he took responsibility for that. He's going to drop back a little bit. Mike Donahue in 15th, Gary Bowman in 16th, Crank Bell in 17th, Dave Gainforth in 18th, George Cushman in 19th, and Steven Music in 20th.
Following up, completing your lead lap, Dennis Ellis, Dusty Martin, and Craig Schroeder. Trucks a lap down. Paul Turner, Andy Cork, Leroy Koblenz, Daniel Koblenz, Garrett Johnston, William Kern, Cody Meadows, and Alan Ayers and Jonathan Ellis have parked it. So this will be interesting.
Sir.
These guys up front on older tires, the front row is going to be on older tires, fresh tires behind. These fresh tires, Kyle, Chris, and Jason, they have been battling all night. I don't see them being patient, waiting for these two cars up front to kind of settle down and go single file. Who's going to push the hardest to get in the front?
And on 27 lap older tires too, there's a pretty significant fall off on these tires at Richmond. Green flag back in the air.
Little tire
Kyle's
spin.
got a huge run. Oh, he does check up the run though and decides to just let it coast in there. Chris Harefield's going to get to his outside. It may have been a mistake from Kyle trying to be patient, because I don't know that you want to be stuck with Chris Harefield on your outside right here.
Yeah, you can see Kyle there has a lot of speed with those fresh tires. He's just got nowhere to go. Chris looking maybe to take it 3 wide. No, Kyle's going to take it 3 wide.
Yeah, Kyle takes it 3 wide as well. Mark Morton passes Andrew Caldwell for the lead. Chris Harefield, Kyle Nadeau side by side with him for second place, trying to chase him down on his older tires. And Andrew Caldwell's just getting swallowed up here on this older rubber.
Mark Morton still in the lead, but these two cars are looking to get past him and pushing hard to make that happen. Kyle with the
that was the
inside line.
best thing possible for Kyle. Mark Morton went to the wall. It kind of blocked off Chris Harefield, and Kyle was able to use him as a pick to get around him. He's going to clear him easily. Kyle Nadeau, your pole sitter, now your new leader.
Chris Harefield getting past Mark Morton. Jason Higginbotham looking to do the same. But let's see if Chris can chase down Kyle and make a pass.
Yeah, we saw Kyle get around him and Chris not able to do anything, but now they're on fresh tires. You don't know how Chris treated him the last run. He might have learned something on what not to do. He's definitely going to try to chase him down right now.
So those old tires did not work out. Mark Morton now in 4th place, Andrew Caldwell in 8th place, and those two we're going to see will probably just keep dropping as this run goes on.
Yeah, if they go green, pitting is going to be the least of their worries. They may lose a lap by the time 7 gets loose. Everybody collects it up, though. 3 wide on the back stretch. 7 got loose off of the corner, got into Paul Turner a little bit, along with Cody Meadows, and they were 3 wide down the back stretch, but everybody giving each other enough room. Collects it up as Cody goes 3 wide tight down the middle. Still 3 wide in the middle of 1 and 2. The 7's going to lift out of that and just let Cody go do his thing. Cody's a man on a mission trying to get laps back the hard way after some computer problems early took him out of contention.
Up in the lead, Kyle Nadeau. It looks like this is settled out a little bit. Chris Harefield about 0.3 back. Jason Higginbotham about another 0.6 back. We're going to be able to see who saves tires and who can save fuel.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I ever finished my thought. I think pitting might be the least of the worries for Mark Morton and Andrew Caldwell. They might lose a lap on pure pace alone if this race goes green, let alone their pit stop they'll have to make as well.
Yeah, one guy who is not saving fuel, Crank Bell, he's now in 10th place, up 15 spots from where he started, and is charging. He's gained several spots here on this green flag run with Mark Morton now 9th in front of him. He cuts down below him, looking to make the pass on those fresher tires.
Yeah, you can kind of make the outside work a little bit on fresh tires, but there's no way on older tires can you hold off fresh tires running the shorter distance around the track. It's just not going to happen. Any kind of fight that you put up is just delaying the inevitable once you get off that bottom line. You can kind of stack everybody up on the old tires, but once you get shuffled to the outside, your night's done till the next caution.
So that puts Crank Bell into 9th place, biggest mover of the night, up 16 spots.
Yeah, Chris Dorsey in 6th place, also up 13 spots. Now 12 as I broadcaster cursed him and Eric Anderson made the pass.
Yeah, it looked like he might have got a little loose there, had a little trouble in the corner. So we are
Looks
back.
like everything is kind of single filed out, just some small truck battles across there. But really, most of those are just trucks coming through, passing Andrew Caldwell and Mark Morton on their older tires.
Yeah, Mark Morton in 12.
I think that was going to work, Jerry. Did you?
I didn't. I don't know if they just were hoping for a quick caution, but even then, if they pit, they'd end up going back to the back. So I'm just not sure what that strategy was.
I mean, I guess if they didn't think they could make it on fuel, it makes sense to not have to pit there, but they would need the window for a caution is relatively small to make that strategy work. You'd want enough time to come and get fresh tires, but not enough time to pass that everybody else will come and get fresh tires as well.
Yeah, I haven't been keeping track necessarily of tire count. Maybe they were just saying, we want to save an extra set for the end, and we'll live with the results.
By my count, everybody should have at least 2 sets left. Like they made, it's 1 set left. They started on 1, they made 2 pit stops. They have 1 set left.
Right. These guys
so
have
it does
2.
give them the option.
Yep.
They do have 2 sets.
So if
and
these
you
other
saw how
guys,
good fresh tires are.
Exactly. If these other guys have to pit, they're probably going to take their tires. I would assume they'll split it in the middle, but you never know. They may go long and just take fuel only, or just rights.
And you don't know also if they're trying to just build that tire deficit, hope a caution comes out here in the next 5 or 10 laps or so. Nobody else comes to pit road because they've only got one set left, and they're able to drive through the field like everybody's driving through them right now.
Yep, we'll have to see how that strategy plays out. Mike Stiverson in fourth place, up 6 spots, having a good run, very quiet run. We haven't talked about him all night.
Yeah, no, not at all, which is usually a good thing if the broadcasters aren't talking about you and you're running in the 4th spot. I guess it could be a bad thing if no one's talking about you and you're running in 30th, but
So we're seeing the field spread out. First car on the lead lap is our last car on the lead lap is in 23rd. They are 16 seconds back. You can see on the track map now we're kind of single file. You're seeing all this spacing between the cars. So these guys now are racing the track and they're racing their machine, trying to save some tires, save some fuel. We should have a nice green flag run to the end and see who can save some fuel.
let's hope so, Jerry, for sure. So, Gary Bowman just made a pass on George Cushman there for the 16th position. Had to work him over for a couple laps to try to get it to stick, but finally able to make the pass clean. Gary hoping to drive forward a little bit there, up into the top 15 and then the top 10.
Yeah, John Ross in front of him in 15th. Looks like his truck has been fixed as much as they could. He's got some pretty good pace now, so maybe he can recover from that. Oh no, Gary gets loose. Oh, and he turns it and he gets hit from behind.
Make sure you're getting yourself
Yeah, it looks like it collected up. Dave Gainforth, Andy Cork as well. I didn't see what started it, Jerry. Let's see if we can go back here and take a look at what initially started it. Just loose on entry.
Yeah, just get loose there. Gary gets loose. I don't know if he got the air taken out or just turned it a little too much. Gets loose down to the bottom track, locks it up, and then just unfortunately the trucks behind him don't have time to react.
Yeah, it almost looks like he misjudged the arc of John Ross in front of him and had to give a little more wheel than he wanted to on entry. It just truck couldn't handle it, and it swapped ends on him there. Unfortunate, but a racing incident. No, look at it from the cockpit cam here. Going in, gonna be braking about now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, looks like John maybe broke a little earlier than he was expecting there and turned in at the same time. Gary wasn't there, just also wasn't expecting the truck to start coming down that early across his nose, and just a little miscommunication between the two of them on track there, and ended up with one of them spun out. But Gary did the right thing. Didn't take John out with him, took himself out instead. That's the kind of driver that Gary is, though. He's not going to take you out on purpose, even if it's his mistake or your mistake or anything. He'd rather wreck himself than wreck you and everybody else with him.
Yeah, so we've got, looks like some different pit strategies going on again. So George Cushman, Dusty Martin, Steven Music, Gary Bowman. Gary Bowman's pitting now. But those top cars, I don't know if they're wave around cars or if they're just not pitting. Cody Meadows obviously is a wave around.
Yeah, definitely a wave around car there. I'm showing that George Cushman, Dusty Martin, Steven Music are the ones that stayed out. Is that what you're
Yes,
showing as well,
yes.
Jerry? Yeah.
And I look at this.
It looks like fuel only, maybe, for Ray Richard, Crank Bell, Judd Danielson.
Yes, they're
Fuel only or right side tires, I can't quite tell. But Kyle with his, should be his last set of tires. I guess we are only down to, what are we, 40 to go?
Yep.
So I guess that's about good for a run. But look at the group that Andrew Caldwell, Mark Morton are 16th and 17th. That's where they were running, but they've got, I guess, the same tires as everybody else. They've also got another set.
Yes.
We were in a 30-lap run. They've got fresh tires to make it very interesting coming to the end.
This is going to be a very interesting restart. We saw a little bit where the two cars up front did not were on old tires. We saw how much Kyle and Chris were pushing to get past them, how hard it was. Now, instead of two cars in front of the fresh tires, it looks like we've got something like 6 cars in front of the fresh tires.
Yeah, not only that, I'm interested to see as well, because like their tires are only 18 laps older. The ones before were almost 30 laps or 40 laps older. You know, I don't think you're going to see them fall back near as bad as what Andrew and Mark Morton did. I think the fresh tires are going to have the advantage here, but I don't think it's going to be as big as what it was the last restart.
With this caution, though, I wonder if those guys up front that did not even stop for fuel can save enough fuel to make it the rest of the race.
Well, we went green the last time they pit with 66 to go, had another 2 or 3 laps under caution. That it was going to be really close. I think this definitely gets them their fuel number. I don't think that George, Dusty, or Steven would have stayed out if they didn't think they could make it to the end from here.
Yeah, he's obviously, you see those RPMs, he's obviously not clutching it.
Yeah, but sometimes just rolling around. They are coming to the green flag this time as well, Jerry, so that could be why they're not being clutched yet. At new front row, Dusty Martin, George Cushman. Pace truck is off. Green flag is in the air. There's some big gaps on the inside line there. Caused some big stack ups as well. George Cushman's going to be able to easily clear. Kyle's going to take him 3 wide, backed out of it at the last minute. Thought better, but no, drives back up underneath Crank Bell, who doesn't give him any room at all on the bottom. There wasn't room there, but Kyle tried to shove the truck there anyway, trying to get through everybody. Again, it's a replay of the last one. Chris Harefield, Kyle Nadeau, the 2 fastest trucks all night, are stuck behind a gaggle of cars on older tires.
Kyle has the advantage down at the bottom, normally I would say, but Crank is not giving him any room there to make a move.
No, that's how Crank races. Oh, Crank gets turned. Crank gets turned on the backstretch, Jerry. Let's go back and look at that. I'm not sure if he came up or if he just kind of got hooked or if there was some netcode or something in there, but
you can see
Crank
here on exit. Some net code. 29 does come down a little bit, but that looked like a little bit of net code to me.
Yeah, about a foot of net code or so. 29 was coming down, I think just a little loose on exit. I don't think they were going to make contact though, and he gets kind of sucked into Crank's quarter panel, and that finishes Crank off. I guess it's not quite a foot. It's more about 3 inches of net code, isn't it, Jerry?
Yeah, but it's still some net code. Chris Harefield gets involved in this. Oh, no. Let's see. Yeah, he's going to end up with some front end damage. Kyle, it looks like, missed it. Down at the bottom of the screen, or the left of the screen, you see Mike Stiverson hard into the wall. Oh, and more cars.
Oh, and then, yeah, they're just... It's so hard to get these trucks woed up on corner exit at the short track here. It's just so easy, and you've seen that it's 2 or 3 times now with an incident on the backstretch that trucks are sideways sliding into the wreck with just out of control, not able to do anything. It's a parking lot there. Was a parking lot in turn 4, turn 3 and turn 4. Man, unfortunate for Crank Bell for sure.
We'll take one more look from the blimp, see the scope of the total damage here.
Yeah, again, Crank just comes up. 29 gets a little bit loose, comes down a little bit, maybe trying to side draft or something. I don't know, but netcode incident. Oh, 54 hard into Crank.
A lot of trucks with damage in that one.
Yeah, looks like.
All right, we've
about
got
3 or 4 inches of netcode on that, but
interesting. So,
hard racing for sure.
Yeah, what we missed was Dusty Martin, Steven Music, George Cushman stayed out. Remember, they were on old tires. They last pit lap 58. Now we've got Kyle Nadeau, Jason Higginbotham, Chris Harefield stayed out. We saw he had some damage, but he did not go into the pits. Let's see if we can see the front of that truck. He doesn't look terrible.
I said it looked on the replay like he was going to have some major right front damage, but I mean, I have to agree, it looks pretty good, all things considered. And I can actually hardly even tell a scratch on the dang thing, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Maybe the netcode gods giveth and the netcode gods taketh away, and definitely giveth to him tonight if there's no damage to that Toyota, because that would look to be a pretty significant hit. But you see what happens whenever netcode's involved. Sometimes it thinks things happen that don't. So
Mike Stiverson in the pits along with Crank Bell, John Ross. A lot of trucks wiped out on that one.
yeah,
So,
just an unfortunate racing incident. But
yeah, we obviously do not know what we're talking about with our thought on early cautions green late, because it is early green, late cautions.
yeah, I think we just end up doing that all the time, Jerry. Every time we think we know what's going to happen. They prove us wrong. The exact opposite happens.
Absolutely. Dusty Martin, your leader, up 10 spots. Steven Music up 30 spots in second place. George Cushman up 21 spots in third place. Now remember, they're on older tires. They didn't pit. They gained that position by staying out. Let's see if they can hold that position, because right behind them and Ray Richer is Kyle Nadeau, Jason Higginbotham, Chris Harefield, who have been running fast all night, have fresher tires, and they are going to race to that front as hard as they can.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jerry, the laps are winding down. I think holding the position is going to be a lot easier now than it was 20 laps ago. We're going to be going green here with, I believe, what, 33 laps to go? Green flag back in the air now.
Dusty with a really good start.
Yeah, absolutely. The seven's kind of checking up a little bit. Again, Kyle finds himself on the bottom with some older tires in front of him, just trying to make it away around. It gets a huge run off of the corner. Oh my gosh, he was shot out of a cannon, 3 wide for the lead. That is the biggest run I think I've ever seen off the corner at Richmond.
That was incredible. I don't know this. Oh, we have a wreck behind.
No caution, though, Jerry. I'm going to keep an eye on the leaders here. Still no caution on the track. Looks like they were off of it. Kyle Nadeau with a 6 truck length lead over Steven Music in second place. Chris Harefield trying to get around him as well. Steven kind of goes up the track a little bit, gives him the room. Chris Harefield's going to make the pass for second into turn 1 here and keep tracking down after Kyle Nadeau.
Jason Higginbotham not far behind, trying to, he gets down underneath Music and is also going to try to make the pass on the inside.
It looks like Music is driving smart here, giving these fresh tires plenty of room. I mean, if I was up 28 spots, I'd probably just go. I'm not going to go back to where I was. Just drive. I'll let you by. You know.
Yep. We've seen some issues with some of the slower cars already. I agree with you. If he can pull a top 10 out of this, that's a good day for him.
Yeah, to be able to start.
Oh, we say that, but he cuts the nose off Ray Richer there. I think he's done letting cars go by.
Yeah, it
might have been a little bit of angle.
Let the 3 fastest trucks of the night go by. That's the ones you got to worry about. Now you just got to keep everybody else back there. But you've been back there with them and know whether you can do it or not. I'm still not sure what happened with that incident off of turn 4, Jerry. It looks like another caution out on the track now, though. Another caution out on the track.
Let's see if we can find what happened here. Looking to see if Alan errors. Oh, up ahead. I see it up ahead. It didn't register, but there's a wreck up ahead of Alan. Alan just gets into a car in front.
Yeah, it doesn't know anything had happened yet. Like, it just can't see there's a truck in front of him.
Let's back it up here. Looks like Mike Stuyvesant and the 01.
The 01 maybe thought he was clear, tried to make a move to the outside there, and there's a significant amount of net code in that one as well.
Yeah, it looked like both trucks were kind of coming together and some net code.
Yeah, I think the 01 tried to go there, realized he wasn't there, but net code had already decided that he was going to get wrecked no matter what.
All right, real quick here, though. Looks like our top 11 stayed out. 12 back are in the pits.
I'm surprised to see Ray Richer come to the pits, unless he was one of the ones that took gas only the last time out. But this may put Steven Music in the catbird seat now with, I know they haven't been all green flag laps, but about 10 green flag lap fresher tires than everybody else here. He's only going to restart in 12th, and we saw what fresh tires can do. He had a decent enough truck to stay in 4th, even on the old tires. He may have the speed to come up here and do something and mess with these leaders a little bit.
So if you're Steven right now, you've got fresh tires, 12th place, 25 to go. Do you hope it goes green from here, or do you hope it goes like 3 or 4 laps, another caution, 3 or 4 laps, and you just kind of leapfrog your way up?
No, I want it to go green. There's plenty of laps left. We don't have unlimited green-white checkers or anything like you saw in the truck race on Friday night. If you watched the Phoenix crap show that was
debacle?
That truck race debacle, yeah. Cautions breed cautions, and you can leapfrog your way there. But I think in these league races where everything's a little bit cleaner and people are a little bit more respectful than the real life truckers were, that you just wanted to go green. You know, you got fresher tires. It's pretty easy here to pick off one car at a time until you get to the top 5 or so.
So we've got leader Kyle Nadeau, Chris Harefield, Jason Higginbotham in third, Eric Anderson in fourth. We haven't talked about him much tonight. He's in fourth place. Brian Dorsey up 12 spots in fifth. Dusty Martin in sixth. Dusty, remember, is on old tires. Nathan Dufton up 14 spots into seventh. Mark Morton eighth. Paul Turner ninth. And Dennis Ellis in 10th.
Yeah, Chris Dorsey is in 11th. Steven Music in 12th. First car on freshest tires. Ray Richer in 13th. Mike Donahue in 14th. Gary Bowman in 15th. Chris Letts in 16th. Dave Gainforth in 17th. Andrew Caldwell in 18th. Mike Stiverson in 19th. And Leroy Koblenz in 20th.
Lead lap cars are, the remaining ones are George Cushman, John Ross, and Daniel Koblenz, I believe. The rest of the guys are a lap down. We're getting ready to restart here.
Yeah, it looks like the pace car's got its lights off. They are double filed up. Going to be going green here with about 26 laps to go.
23? 23?
I don't know. Yeah, whatever. I can't do math, Jerry.
That's all right. As long as you know where first place is, we're good.
26 sounded better, didn't it?
It does, actually, yeah. All right, so these guys up front, Chris Harefield, Kyle Nadeau, have been battling hard. Let's see what, now that they don't have traffic in front of them.
Green flag.
Yep, green flag in the air. Both trucks get a pretty good restart. Looks like Chris Harefield gets a little bit better of a jump, but Kyle's able to hang on, dives it in a little bit deeper, takes the shorter line, but not able to clear, squeezes him up a little bit and is able to clear him. That is some tight racing there. A little bit of respect given.
Here in the back, let's see, where are those fresh tires? Oh, some cars in the wall. Fresh tires, Ray Richards now in 10th place and still looking to make moves here on the bottom.
Yeah, Steven Music hasn't made much of a headway at all and actually down a spot from that restart in 13th. Yeah, so we were wrong yet again, Jerry. Fresh tires not really able to make much headway here.
Yeah, Ray
Maybe
Richards
once
pushing hard gets loose on the inside.
Yeah, maybe once they single file out a little bit here and able to get a little bit further down the road. But Kyle Nadeau still with a 3 truck length lead over Chris Harefield, who has a 3 truck length lead over Jason Higginbotham, who has a 3 truck length lead over Eric Anderson. Just evenly spaced out here in the top 4, hoping to make their way through.
They're still battling really hard for this 10th, 11th, 12th spots. We're seeing a lot of side-by-side action. We're seeing some, one gets, no, we got a car around.
Doesn't look like, and there's the caution. Didn't look like it was going to bring out a caution, but was far enough up on the track that it did.
Mark Morton here looks like he's got some room on the outside, just starts to get a little loose. Yeah, there, he gets loose on exit, just, you can see that front wheel's turning. He locks it down. Just could not keep that truck on the track.
And I mean, just barely. I think if he would have stayed below that yellow line, then there's some incident behind as well. There was more coming in there. I'm not sure if Mark made it out of there alive or not. It looks like he has taken that truck to the hauler, so I guess his truck did not make it out of there alive. Window net was down, though. He looked okay.
Dusty Martin in the pits.
Martin
is in the pits. He's decided those old tires are not working. That puts Steven Music up into 8th place now on those fresh tires.
Yeah, must have made some spots up as well with the incident in front of him. But this is going to be putting the pressure on Kyle and Chris. I know they've been the class of the field so far, but fresh tires are not that far behind you.
Music has shown having a little bit of trouble getting through that traffic, though. He's in 9th. He's going to have to get through some other trucks here to get to battle for that lead. I think in clean air, he probably has the faster truck, but he's not going to have clean air.
Yeah, like they always say, catching's one thing, passing's another, Jerry. It's not a guaranteed pass once you get there by any means.
Right, and while he did leapfrog up from, I think it was 12th up to 8th. My idea of leapfrogging with only 16 to go now does not look like it's going to hold water.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
No. Once again, I'm wrong.
Yeah, Jerry joined the club.
But-
We've both been wrong, I think, on every prediction we've made in this truck
Yeah.
series all season long so far.
But the lower part of this top 10, Brian Dorsey up 12 spots, Nathan Dufton up 15, Paul Turner up 22, Stephen Music up 24, Dennis Ellison 9th up 21 spots, Chris Dorsey up 9. These guys are having a great run tonight. We've been talking a lot about those top 3 because they've just been so fast, but we can't discount these guys in 5th through 10th that have just made huge gains this race.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd yell out the big losers, but I mean, most of them, actually every single big loser has been involved in a wreck or some sort of technical issue right now. So really that's been the key to the race, is just avoid the wrecks and avoid the attrition, and you'll have a decent finishing spot, it seems.
Or be Chris Harefield and be lucky that the netcode gods say, nah, you just keep on racing, bud.
Yeah, one of those two.
I hate getting incidents, but I love the Phantom 4X. You barrel into a car, you come out of it and go, hey, my car's fine.
Barrel into a car. I've driven through cars before that never had any damage from it.
Yep. Yeah, it's hard to say. Sometimes that happens, and then sometimes you get the little wall tap and you break a toe link for nothing.
Yep.
Is
Heck,
Higginbotham...
I have been the car that's the scene from Talladega Nights. Where, yep, we're flying through the air. This is not good, and end up landing on your wheels and have no damage. It's one of those weird things with video games and internet racing for sure. But
Higginbotham has no right front fender.
does he now?
He does not.
Does not. No, he does not. He has the bumper, but he has no front fender. That's
up there
an
in 3rd
interesting
spot,
little.
and he must have tapped the wall somewhere.
Or had damage from earlier and they just didn't get that part replaced yet. I don't know. Maybe it's faster that way. You got the arrow from the bumper keeping that away, but cooling that right front down.
14 to
Either
go.
way, it seems to be working. Green flag back in the air. Harefield gets a good jump, but Kyle gets a better shift into 3rd. Side by side into turn 1. Kyle does it again. Slides in there deep, is able to clear him without having to wash up on exit this time. Makes you wonder if Chris just kind of backed out and decided to take that battle to him later on.
Eric Anderson looking to make a move on the outside of Higginbotham. Let's see if he can carry that momentum and make a pass.
Yeah, he's able to maintain with him there. A little bit of a side draft keeps him alongside, but he's not able to make any momentum on entry to the corner. That outside lane in turns 1 and 2 just doesn't seem to have any grip at all. Can't get the car in, can't get the car turned.
And as we talked about, Stephen Music with maybe the fastest truck, but look at all that traffic in front of him. There's just nowhere for him to go. Finally is able to get a clear lane down to the bottom. Let's see if he can make that bottom work and make some passes.
Yeah, Jerry, I was too busy looking in front from Eric Anderson on forward, and then I went back here to where Paul Turner's at, and it is just trucks everywhere. It is a hornet's nest back here in 10th place all the way back to 22nd, last on the lead lap, Andy Cork. These trucks are just, you can tell it's go time. There's less than 10 laps to go, and they are trying to get every position they possibly can.
Music is making it work. He is up to 6th place now. He's got a little bit of clean air in front of him. And then Brian Dorsey, he slides up the track. Andrew Caldwell looking to try and make a move underneath, just does not have the speed to challenge him yet.
Yeah, Stephen Music trying to make those moves, though. Gets up. He's liking that higher line. Caldwell able to get up underneath him, though, is going to have a run down the back straightaway. Behind them, still 2x2. Ooh, a little bit of a contact there. 47 got a little bit of rear contact from the 57, it looked like. Ray's going to be able to make that pass. I think just wanting those fresh tires. So, hey, I'm here.
Caldwell,
get out of my way.
Yeah, Caldwell is on fresh tires. He's now in 6th place. He is the highest truck with those freshest tires. Sorry.
Yeah, and make that 5th place as he makes the pass. Don't know if it's going to be able to stick or not. I'm watching this battle back in the back. Caldwell looks like he made it stick, though. Currently up to 5th place. Stephen Music in 7th. But Jerry, we're going to be coming to 6 to go at the line. I think time's starting to run out for Andrew. Kyle's about 2 seconds ahead of him, 3 seconds ahead of him up the road.
Yeah, Kyle with a 6/10 lead over Chris. Jason another 6/10 back, and then Eric Anderson 3. If they can just keep those trucks clean, I think with 6 to go, they're in pretty good position.
Yeah, I think Eric Anderson's going to be the only one at threat here, but even he's got a 7/10 lead over Andrew Caldwell. Looks like he's probably going to be able to do just enough to keep a top 5 spot for sure, as long as he doesn't make a mistake. But I mean, Jerry, it's crazy back here in the middle of the back of the pack.
Yeah, they're still looks like 2 wide, 2 wide, 2 wide. They're trying to battle for positions. You know, in the points battle for playoffs, every point counts. So you don't think about who's in first. You think about who's in front of you and just how do I get ahead of that driver.
Exactly. I'm watching every single one of these trucks overdrive the entry, wash up off the bottom, diamond it, but luckily the trucks on their outside are doing the exact same thing. It's fun to watch for sure, but I'm sure it's nail biting for these truckers back here in the back.
Yeah, they are swerving left and right, looking for lanes, trying to make passes with 3 to go now. Kyle with a comfortable, almost a full second lead.
Yeah, I think Kyle's just in bring it home pace right now. Just wants no cautions, no cautions. Give me one more good lap to take the white with no cautions. That's all he wants right now. Surely, in his head, surely you guys can drive for 25 more seconds without bringing a caution out.
Yeah, we are 2 to go. Kyle with over a second lead in front of Chris now.
Yep, he's going to be coming to take the white flag this time by once he crosses that stripe. Now he knows he is safe. White flag is in the air. Kyle Nadeau with a huge 1 second lead into turn 1. Just going to try to drive home and comfortably bring it home right now.
2 more corners. One more little 90 degrees or 100 and another 90, 180 full. Here comes Kyle. Across the start finish. Chris Harefield
Kyle
in second.
Nadeau, your winner. Chris Harefield, second place. Jason Higginbotham in third place. Andrew Caldwell did manage to get Eric Anderson there for fourth, but those fresh tires were not enough to go chase down Kyle Nadeau.
Man,
Jerry, I'm going to go see if I can gather them up.
Do that. I'll see if we can bring up some results here for everybody.
Sounds good.
Your winner tonight, Kyle Nadeau, Chris Harefield in second, Jason Higginbotham in third, Andrew Caldwell, Eric Anderson, Brian Dorsey, Ray Richards seventh, John Ross, Chris Dorsey, Mike Donahue in 10th, Stephen Musick in 11th, Nathan Dufton, Dusty Martin, Paul Turner, Dennis Ellis in 15th, Gary Bowman, George Cushman, Dave Gainforth in 18th, Chris Letts 19th, Mike Stiverson ended up in 20th, Andy Quirk 21, Leroy Koblenz, Craig Schroeder, Judd Danielson, Cody Meadows with internet problems in 25th, Crank Bell, Mark Morton, Daniel Koblenz, and Garrett Johnson in 29th, Alan Ayers in 30th, William Kern, and Jonathan Ellis in 32nd place.
Well, Jerry, I happened to catch up with our third place finisher here, Jason Higginbotham. Jason, you got a copy?
How's it going, Cody?
Hey, it's going pretty good, but going even better for you. Looks like you didn't quite get the qualifying position that you wanted, but hey, up 9 spots to finish in third. You were definitely one of the 3 fastest trucks all night. Talk us through your race and how it went.
Definitely. I spun out coming to the white flag and the qualifying and got that one lap, put me back in 12th. But I didn't have the truck to beat Kyle or Chris. Both of them had 2 better trucks coming off of both corners. They could lay the gas down and just pull it on away from me. Decent getting in, but I didn't have nothing with neither one of them guys.
Could be because you didn't have a right front fender. Did you? Were you aware of the damage?
Yeah, I was aware of the damage after that last wreck. Chris told me about it, but even before that, I couldn't get to them. They were half a tenth faster than me every lap.
Well, we were wondering if maybe it would give you some benefits like
Me
I don't
too.
know, Dale
Cooler right
Earnhardt.
front.
Yeah, Dale Earnhardt Jr. back at Martinsville or not, but probably a little too aero dependent at this track. But I mean, a good run. Started 12th at a short track, made your way up to third, ran second for a while there as well. You say you don't have the truck to beat him, but I think if you could have gotten clean air, you would have given him a run for their money for sure.
Yeah, that might have helped too. I wonder if these guys were shifting. A lot of guys in the room said some guys were shifting coming off the corner, and I didn't want to try it. But it could have been that Kyle could have been shifting. I'll have to go back and watch the replays.
Ooh, that's a question we'll ask
Yeah,
him for sure and try to find out the answer for you. But
10-4.
hey, good race tonight. I'm going to turn over the mic to you though and let you give your shout outs, your thanks, whatever you want to do. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Cody. Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate you guys. I just got to thank Cyber Thunder Racing, all these guys out here. It's real good, real fun to race with. I got to thank Higgie's House of Power, the Chevrolet truck right here. That's about it.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Jason. Hopefully, we're talking to you again next week. Jason Higginbotham, third
Thank
place
you very
finisher.
much. Y'all have a good week.
Same to you, sir.
Second place finisher to tonight, Chris Harefield. Chris, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
How you doing tonight?
It was pretty fun, man. We had a good night. Me and Kyle were just chatting about it. It was quite a race.
Yeah, you feel, I mean, obviously everybody wants to win, but overall, how do you feel about a good podium tonight?
We'll take a podium anytime we get on the track. It definitely a good points night and continuing on into the where the cutoffs start. And the flight got out drove tonight, but we had a lot of fun.
I don't know. I got to ask you one question though. Seemed like every restart you just had, you were quick on the restart, had a really good jump. Kyle may have driven a little late into the corners, but what's your secret on these starts?
I think a lot. Me and Kyle were actually just talking about it. I think a lot has to do with the setup that we have for shifting and going through the gears, so forth. I don't know. Just practice a lot at it. I guess it's a pretty important part of the race.
Absolutely, work on that at home, boys and girls. So, with those restarts and with the battle you had on early with Kyle, it seemed like whoever was in front obviously had the advantage because it was so hard to pass with that dirty air. I mean, is that the way you felt every restart? Like you had to get out in front? It would be easier to stay there?
Yeah, just like the first, I think it was 32 laps of the race or whatnot, being out front, you can kind of dictate the pace and you can get into your own rhythm. And then who's ever tagging along has to do what you're doing or try to do something different, right? So the same way when I was following Kyle, I was trying to get everything I could on the restart. And then when I just tucked back into him, we just were rolling the corner. I mean, milliseconds difference between speed. And once the tires get a little bit of wear on them, you have no passing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it was a great race tonight. Second place finish, great podium. I'm going to turn it over to you, let you say hello and thanks.
10-4. Thanks to everybody at Cyber Thunder here. Appreciate you, Jerry, for calling the race up there. And happy early Veterans Day to everybody out there listening. And look forward to celebrating it this weekend.
Awesome, man. Hopefully we'll be talking to you at the end of some future races.
10-4. Thanks, Jerry.
All right, and I caught up with your first place finisher, your pole sitter, the man, the myth, the Canadian legend, Kyle Nadeau. You got a copy?
That I do, man. How's it going?
Hey, I can't complain at all watching you do this race. I got to ask a question first, though. That initial start, you end up behind Chris a little bit. Were you saving fuel?
No, it just iRacing through the flag so early, it actually caught me off guard. And I don't have a clutch, so it kind of I kind of screw myself on the restarts and the starts, so that's kind of what happened there.
We'll have to talk about that later. I don't know what you need a clutch for, but we'll digress from that. We had one of the other top three competitors ask a question. They didn't know if maybe you were shifting later in the runs in the corners. Were you downshifting at all, or were you leaving it in fourth gear the entire time? We got to know.
Yeah, see, but I can't give you all my secrets now. No, I was leaving it fourth the entire time. It's just getting it to pitch on the right rear with the brakes, constantly adjusting the brakes, and just having those really wide arcs to pinch off your corner there down in number 2. Turn 4, you can kind of fade it out and almost lean it on the right rear and just buzz it a little bit to keep the heat in it, and it'll help you down into turn 1 there as well.
Yeah, and got to roll that center at Richmond with those late apexes for sure. But hey, other than the research where you seemed a little bit slow, you were pretty much class of the field tonight, fastest in qualifying, obviously fastest to the checkered flag. I think you made up points on your teammate. You said you wanted to get the win. You called your shot. You got it tonight. I think you may have had enough points here to take over leading the championship going in with 2 more races. How do you feel about the rest of the regular season?
Pretty good. Kansas, it could be hit or miss for me. If I can survive Kansas, I really do love Pocono. So that'll be, I think Pocono will be a really good shot at another win for me there.
Yeah, I think so too. I haven't watched you driven Pocono before. Kyle, I'm going to turn over the floor to you. Let you give your thank yous and everything. Hopefully, you don't forget your girlfriend's birthday or anniversary or whatever it was again. Don't forget things. Floor is yours though, Kyle.
Girlfriend's birthday's in April, so I got a little while to forget that. First, I want to thank you guys for calling the race. I want to say hello to my grandma. Thank you for watching. My girlfriend, thank you for watching. And I have a sponsor I have to thank. Manicures by Shiani has come onto the truck, so thank you for that. My family for watching, my friends for watching, everybody for racing clean, Mike for taking the reins over for the whole series. Matt, sorry you couldn't be here. Everybody at WTF Racing, really good teammates and everything. And truck's dead. And everyone at BTR for on the cup side too.
There we go. I got him on screen. Manicures by Channing.
Here we go.
Awesome. Well, Kyle, congratulations. Great run tonight. Kyle, he lives in a Canadian chateau, Nadeau. Your winner tonight here at Richmond Raceway.
Might have to workshop that one. That works though.
Hey, I'm trying to get a nickname to stick. If Dale Jr. can get Christopher Busher, we can get something for you as well, right?
Hey, maple syrup sticks to everything, so.
Exactly. Kyle, have a good night. Hopefully we'll talk to you again next week at Kansas.
Thanks, bud. See you Thursday.
Cody, fun night tonight. We a little more cautions than we thought, but it was some really, really good racing. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, even though we had a few more cautions than we expected, it was all really hard racing with a touch of netcode sprinkled on there. I think if this had been real life trucks, which we all hope that it could be someday, but if it had been in real life, I don't think those cautions would have actually happened. It would have been a lot cleaner. But sometimes iRacing blesses us with a netcode caution fest, and I think that's a lot of what happened tonight.
Yeah, it was nice to also see the ability for these guys to run some different strategies. We saw some guys stay out. We saw some take fuel only, take tires. In the end, I think it was the fastest trucks tonight that won. It wasn't necessarily just a strategy win. But we saw some guys that really improved their positions overall through strategy. I like to see that. I like to see the ability for the fast guys to prove themselves, the strategy guys to prove themselves, and to see it all play out.
Yeah, you can't have the fastest guy out front the entire race. It kind of makes it boring. It stinks up the show a little bit. Kyle and Chris and Jason were definitely the 3 fastest trucks, but they made it interesting. Like you said, thanks to those strategy calls. Hopefully we can get more of that playing out next week at Kansas Motor Speedway.
Kansas, I think I'm trying to remember. I know you hate Texas. What about Kansas?
I hate watching Texas. I love driving Texas.
There we go.
Kansas can burn with the white hot intensity of 1,000 suns.
Yeah, but is that the track's fault or the other driver's fault?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, fans. Hey, thanks for tuning in tonight. We appreciate it. Join us next week for Kansas. We are 2 more races, I guess, until the playoff season. So we'll cover those playoff points for you next week and make sure you are in the know of what guys need to win to make those playoff races. Don't forget, tomorrow night, Rising Stars. Thursday night, it's the Cups Invitational Series for Cyber Thunder. Check us out. Make sure you like us, subscribe if you haven't already. We will see you next week. See ya.
Absolutely. See you next week at Kansas, Jerry.